Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to learning how to be a day trader, there are many systems and things out there, people claiming to have the best stuff out there. Everybody's system is the best. If you don't believe them, just look how much money they made. Just look at the number of people in their service. Just look at the numbers, 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 numbers. However, simple mathematics don't define discipline. In fact, we are flooded in a world where we're told certain people don't have discipline when they break rules. Why are rules really broken? Why do you break your own rules? It's a very interesting question. I have seen gurus and other services basically point the finger at the trader themselves. If you're unable to make money and you took my education and this is the stuff I do to make P&L right here, how is it even possible that you cannot succeed? It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. You're not disciplined. However, the you're not disciplined applies to Air Force pilots, pilots in general, NYPD, police officers, firemen, EMT, doctors, nurses, military, people who have more discipline in their left small pinky toenail than most gurus have in their entire family tree. Yet, these are the people who break the rules. You are the people who lack discipline. Is that really true? Why do we break our rules? Is it possible to half break your rule and half not break your rule? The answer to that is simply yes. I'm going to show you how I did it today. And of course, we're going to go into the Ask Mark. We had a little bit of a choppy market. We're going to talk about emails. Again, welcome to the only guru on Wall Street that will actually discuss traders who are struggling. No other gurus like to do that because gurus are really in a position to create a mirage. Basically, this fake mirage where you go close to it looking for water, looking for your answer in trading, and then you have a mouthful of sand. We go through this. People need to be picked up. Despite I'll make an argument potentially having by far the most consistent trading room on the planet based on the polls and the statistics that I have personally seen. Who knows? I don't get brokerage statements. I still try to focus on the failing guy. I'm not here to get a bunch of testimonials. If I needed 1,000 positive testimonials, I would just simply go to the room and say, hey guys, everybody who's finding success in the room, write me a good testimonial right now. And my email box would just be flooded. I would have, three, four, 500, whatever, Gmail pages long. But how about the person who isn't making money following the same service in the same room with all these other people? Shouldn't we focus on them? Shouldn't we focus on the real questions, the real traders, as opposed to putting on a dog and pony show for you and only showing you everything that's good in life? Everybody loves to see what's good in life. It's bullshit. You ever hear somebody who comes up to you and say, "Hey, what's good?" You ever see those people who say that? Because that's the only thing they want to see or hear. They don't really give a shit what's wrong in your life. They don't give a shit what's bad in your life. They literally pose the question as almost a greeting. Hey, Mark, how are you? Hey, what's good, man? What if that person was going through some issues? What if it was like, hey, hi, how are you? Hey, man, you're not looking so good. That question will never follow through. But over here in the Newsbeat live room, we do things the right way. We do things the honest way. And that is why we achieve a consistency rate that you will not see anywhere else here. We're going to go through the Ask Mark. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Before we continue, please pause the video here, read this slide entirely, and then hit play. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay. We're going to I'm going to jump into where one of my rules were half broken today. And even though I had, again, I'm blessed to be where I am right now. And, many traders, they don't make this kind of money in a month or 2 months, even if they're profitable. Um, I feel blessed, but I do want to show you how I gave back half my day. I do want to show you how I gave back half my day because I think there's more value in that than me just flashing a P&L and making everyone around here on Wall Street angry at me for, I don't know, weird bouts of imbecilic jealousy. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you something. So one of my methodologies, in case you don't know, and I just want to talk a little about it today. It's one of the strategies I do. You probably heard other people talk about it before. It's called a Mark 5. It's called a Mark 5 strategy. And I'll show you this strategy, of course, today. You do get way more than that inside my service. Um, you know, I actually want to make a change to it because I last updated it back in June. And it basically says, I want to just focus on one of the things here where it says works best when stock is trading above VWAP in the ADMA. While that is true when you're looking for a Mark 5 long trade, I'm actually going to change it and update it now. And just keep in mind, I always update my strategies on versions because anybody who has a strategy, it works differently in every environment. Sometimes they need minor tweaks to get to the next level. Maybe to keep that consistency rate high, they need to tweak it a little. That's putting in the work and efforts that most gurus don't. Most gurus, they'll look at, like, if I look at my P&L and, if I'm doing phenomenal this month, which I might be on track for my best December ever, I could just say, what I'm doing works and there's no need to change. And that's a very lazy way I feel of thinking about it. I think traders always need to grow and improve. I grow and improve. I think I'm a better broadcaster now. Am I perfect? No, but guess what? Neither is every other dipshit guru on Wall Street perfect. The only difference is I'm admitting it to you, improving myself, and showing you a record of how I achieve what other gurus find completely unimaginable and unattainable. I focus on the little guy and I focus on changing my strategies because if the market evolves, think about it like this. If the market is evolving and changing, and then I'll show you how I gave back half my day in a moment. If the market is always evolving and changing, let me ask you something. If the market is evolving and changing, then how is it possible that these same strategies still work to this day? The truth is they don't. They don't work as effective. They're more and less effective given the current environment. And that is a fact. So, just so you know, I will be making minor tweaks to my Mark 1 and Mark 5 strategy. Um, and those minor tweaks will be coming very soon, probably this weekend for you Newsbeat Live members. And instead of charging you, instead of just nickel and diming you by somebody who's not qualified to educate you and charging you thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars for some course that is, older than time itself, I'm going to give this to you for free as I usually do, just like my other strategies, because it's important to take care of the people around you who are trying to succeed in your service without nickel and diming them every time they take a step in the wrong direction. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to change in this strategy here is instead of saying the VWAP and ADMA, I'm gonna consider it all my moving averages, not just two of them. So the moving averages I personally use, you can see them right here. I don't hide anything. Exponential 8, this is a 5-minute chart, but exponential 8, simple 200, pivot points, which is not part of that, pivot points, exponential 21, VWAP, exponential 55, and exponential 100. So I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving averages and one VWAP. Those are 6 things. From now on, the Mark 5, a tip in the Mark 5 is going to be to make sure you're above all of the moving averages because even though I talk like that and I say, guys, still not where I need to be right now on this trade, and yeah, may work, may not work, but still not exactly where it needs to be. I'm going to actually make that inclusive now and make that tweak. So here's how I lost half my day today. And again, we're talking half my day, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, just so we're clear on what half my day looks like. All right, I don't need to boast the P&L, but I can I can tell you what I lost. That I'm comfortable doing because I don't need to be one of those gurus. Okay, so right over here, I was trying my strategy on Tesla, but the problem with Tesla, even over here, was, and I was saying this in the room today. If you're not in the room, take my word for it, was that the 200 moving average was looming above you. Then you have situations like this, and this is, I believe, again, I'm not looking over my results. I'm 99% sure I lost money on this trade over here. Just check it out. And this is, again, for Newsbeat Live members as well as people watching in. So right over here, you see like a nice chart reset Mark 5 on Tesla. Not nice, not good, not the worst I've ever seen, but something that you would consider taking right over here when you have a setup like this. The 5-minute bar is closing near the top. In this situation, I literally, as I talk about all the time, I literally front ran it as the candle closes, or like as it's closing, or a second before it closes, somewhere around there, I believe, in order for the next candle to just potentially shoot up without having to enter then. And I only do this when a candle is closing right at its high if I'm going long, and vice versa if it's closing at its low when I'm going short or buying puts. And then what happened is, I'm going to show you the next candle, just literally focus right over here. So what happened on the next candle here was this, and Tesla shot up 61 cents through the level and then plummeted $2.50. And I wasn't particularly heavy in the options because I kept saying there was low conviction that the 200 was above us. Then you might see the situation and be like, oh God, that Mark 5 sucked. It did. But we were warned of its potential horrors. And I'm looking at myself thinking, even though I mentioned it in the room to you guys, and even though I teared down, and yeah, I lost, we're talking thousands of dollars throughout this choppy, grindy mess. This was just one of the trades that contributed to it. Uh, I'm not saying like I should ignore the trade completely because I definitely heeded the warning signs, paid attention to them by sizing down. But I said to myself, you know what? What can I do better as a guru? I know. And what can I do better as a guru? And then I said, you know what? I need to literally take the Mark 5 to a brand new level. And for people joining our service, you're going to get all updated strategies. You're going to get everything from the updated version of the 15-minute candidate reversals, my pivot point strategy, my one and done strategy, my know your limit strategies, my Mark 1 strategies, my Mark 5 strategies, how to literally execute a proper chart reset, my VWAP strategy, my VWAP 1 and 5-minute strategy as well, as a Christmas gift for you guys on the day of Hanukkah. I'm actually going to give you guys the strategy in which I used to call the bottom of Tesla yesterday using S3 support, and how I actually did it, how to actually call a scalp bottom, and literally show you guys how I said, if Tesla flushes 596 and it goes back up, it could bottom out for the day. And that happened yesterday, and I was very accurate, and a lot of you guys were impressed with the emails. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to teach you how, create a new, simple, effective, easy strategy, teach you guys how to use it, and of course, give it to you members in our service, for free, because that's what a service should be about. Okay. Um, All right, so then what happened over here is I got chopped around a little over here as I showed you before on this 5-minute chart. Forget about this. This is like after hours already. I don't know. Somebody was obviously dumb enough, or some late print came through at 6:04.94. It's not real, obviously. Then I started trying to trade it over here. And I'm looking at it over here, and it's like choppy and up and down, and it's this thing here decimated my P&L. This is what caused me to lose half the P&L. Not just this trade before, but this trade as well as these trades caused me to do that. And I was taking very minor losses. I know it sounds like a lot, but I was taking like very modest losses on modest size there. Had I been tiered for my full position, I probably would have had a low end 5-figure red day. But was very grateful to have a very nice day considering these trades that I did. Let's put it that way. Um, with this over here, the reason why this had a problem working was the 200 moving average. And I think it really dawned on me when one of the members of our service, a booth we love, said, I don't even have the 200 moving average on my chart. And I laughed, and because it really made it click in my head, like I have it on my chart. Like, what's the point of using a technical indicator if you don't use it for any beneficial purpose whatsoever? And that's going to be an aha moment for you guys. Anything you see on my chart, I know how to use effectively to make money consistently. Period. If I don't know how to use it to make money effectively consistently, I'll either try to figure it out or remove it. So for example, I don't know if you guys remember my 50 moving average. The red 50 moving average that I use here on the daily, I used to use it on the 5 minute, but I wasn't able to make money on the 5 minute anymore using a 50 moving average, so I removed it. There's no need to put something in front of your face that you don't know how to use effectively. I'm not saying you have to use only what I use. Obviously, use whatever, whatever you want, but make sure that you're able to utilize it in an effective manner. So, even though I had a, you know, again, very blessed to make the money I did today, I just wanted to really highlight to you where I got caught and how I evolve and change from it. It's, you see, the problem is the worst thing you could do, and I know Wall Street talks about it, and don't take my word for anything I see. I make these things up myself, and I just rearrange the words to make myself look intelligent here. But as Common and Tversky say right here, um, talking about their loss aversion principle of gains and losses, and they're saying the psychology of gains and losses is more complicated than previously thought. And again, don't take my word for anything. Please read it up on go read it yourself because it'll help you, in my opinion. One thing they say, for example, people should avoid lotteries which give a 50-50 chance for gains and losses because the negative repercussions weigh heavier than the positive ones. And they say the negative repercussions weigh 2.5 times as worse than the positive ones. So anyone pitching a 50-50 risk reward with a 2-to-1 gain in your favor is literally psychologically destroying you, even though mathematically you can't even argue it. If you're making money 50% of the time, winning two and losing one when you're wrong, you cannot argue the fact that mathematically the odds of coming out ahead at over 200 sample sizes or 100 even or even 50 is practically inevitable. I mean, anything can happen. Lose, 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 lose. I know. But if you're really batting 50-50, you know, you pretty much have no choice but to make money. But what it does is it psychologically destroys you. And then what you're willing to do is you're willing to not take stop losses, you're willing to double down, and then you start doing things, and then they'll turn at you and act like you're not disciplined. And then you'll start screwing up and you won't realize why you had that one blowout day. And if you could only learn how to get rid of that, you wouldn't, you'd be a great trader if you could just remove your one or two or three worst days. You'd be super positive for whatever. But what you don't understand is the way you are making money was psychologically toxic in the first place. And this is Kahneman and Tversky's loss aversion principle. And it was back in 1979, yet they still peddle this same bullshit today as the gold standard in our industry. Just go on Facebook. Everybody, everybody talks about everybody. The biggest problem for some traders, and I'm going to get to the S marks and go through real traders' problems today. I'm sure momentarily here as I check my email box again. Um, One of the biggest problems are that most traders lose more than they make. If I ask traders like, are your up days larger than your down days? And they're like, no, because I make 200, make 200, make 200, and then all of a sudden it's like they'll come out and they'll say, I lose 800, lose 1,000, lose 600, and that is literally single-handedly destroying them. That is single-handedly destroying them, and they don't know how to get out of it. So what I did is I literally created a unique system that does everything it can to avoid psychological toxicity, avoid things like having a bunch of losing days back to back and actually just try to make money tremendously consistently. And I know that sounds too good to be true. There are many services out there. I'm sure any one service on any one day might find any one play that may or may not be better than a play in my room, for example. But when you actually stop and you actually say, well, who is it about? Is it about you, Mark, making money, or is it about the traders in your service? And for me, it's about the traders in my service. And if I need to boast anything, I will boast the P&L. I will boast not the P&L of one person. I will boast a, a public poll in my room asking people if they're finding tremendous P&L consistency with my plays. And you might look at this and say 3/4. That's impossible. That's too amazing to be true. You probably have a room with like 5 or 10 people, to go ahead and get, well, five would be mathematically impossible to get 75 and 25, but you get the point. You probably have a very small room of people, and it's like, no, I got the largest room here in T3, hands down. By far the largest room here. By far the highest retention rate here. By far the highest consistency rate. I'll take the Pepsi challenge with my members any day. And the way I accomplish this is not by sitting here and flashing my goods to everybody on the internet like I'm a porn star. It's like one of those Pornhub sites where you swipe your credit card and you get to see the person, you know. How would you know this, Mark? Actually, I know it because we found out today that MasterCard stopped taking Pornhub stopped taking MasterCard. I know that sounds hilarious, but there was a headline today that Pornhub is no longer taking MasterCard. So that was a running joke from the news flow earlier. Was that yesterday it happened or today? Don't remember. Anyway, point being, yeah, this is why we accomplish it because we actually focus on that 25% of people. All right. Let's go right into the people who are really having trouble in the market as opposed to just dumping setups on them all day. Um, all right. The title of this is I Need Help, Please. Hey, Mark. Normally I would just not email you and try to figure out what you would tell me in my situation because it's embarrassing and I get to a really low point. I'll get to that point. I'm asking for help because I funded my account last week, which is down over 50%. Background: I have a small account. I know the strategy I'm good at. Mark 1 mainly. I trade options. My platform is quick, so I'm getting in and out of trades quickly. In like under 3 to 4 seconds sometimes. I can throw a limit sell order very quickly, 10 cents out, and I can be ready to market very quickly. I've been consistent with getting to bed and getting 7 hours of sleep. I've been keeping myself fit, eating healthy, sticking to fluids, water in the morning before the trading day starts. I practice the reaction time, mouse accuracy activities. Practice entering and exiting trades on demo. I study your psychology videos. I help my family around the house to be able to pass time, give back, and just be a better human being. Good. When it comes to trading, I hide my P&L so I don't see it. I can only see my P&L for the specific names I enter and exit. I don't know if that's really a good idea. I know some people like to do it because they say it's too toxic to see their P&L. A lot of people do it when they try to claim that they're trying to maximize their gains. And this is very common, so you don't sell out too early, so you don't see a number on your screen and you sell out too early. You also won't see a red number on your screen and know, oh, okay, that's not cool, and then it's going to drag you down. So I could see why people do it, and I can't legally tell you to do anything, nor would I. But I will say that in my opinion, when people hide their P&L, they have a very hard time adjusting to what's happening around them. So, like for example, and again, I think you're making a huge mistake. Just so we're clear on that. Again, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going to give you my opinion and at least give you my 2 cents since you're asking for it. So, for example, right over here, I started getting chopped around today in Tesla. I started losing money right over here. If I wasn't able to actually see my P&L drop, if I didn't see half my P&L drop, I was able to climb back and make a quarter of my total P&L back, or half of that half, throughout the rest of the trading day by scalping around. And I was able to do that at the end of the day because I was able to see myself physically getting chopped around in that situation. And I had a good idea of what I needed to do and what I needed to risk if I decided to continue trading. You are not giving yourself sort of that information. So I disagree with this. You could do what you want. Might work best for you. Just giving you my 2 cents. All I ask is that you think about anything I tell you and make your own decision. That's the only thing I ask. I see your setups clearly and can determine if you would like a setup or not based on your methodologies. I try to ignore most setups. I see your setup. All right. I try to ignore most setups. Okay. I trade according to my rules, and then boom, I start trading like I need my fix or something, and start veering off and doing other setups that are your strategy, but not a name I would trade or strategy that is my best on. Getting in late on your strategy, finding bearish and bullish setups on your names that actually have nice candles and volume, but are not where you would buy or sell. Buying or selling on a break of a strong candle. I'm getting frustrated just typing this bobsled. I set an alarm for 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. I stopped trading, but then continued to trade. I think a lot of this stems from me losing on a front run trade or holding too long, which there are times where I freeze up and don't exit, but there are times where it's easy to exit. Also, each day I'm thinking about the cost of paying for charts as well as the Newsbeat live room, which I had to go to a monthly subscription because apparently my annual ended before the December and I literally could not afford the annual. Mark, what is my problem? I need help. Here are my trades from yesterday. So just, I'm going to look at your trades right now. We went over the Hyde and P&L. I mean, you claim this is true. I believe you. You tried to ignore most setups. I believe you. I have no, reason to not believe you there. And then this part really interested me. I trade according to my rules, and then boom, I start trading like I need a fix or something. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happened here. All right, so this is December 12th trading. You bought Fastly, you've sold Fastly on a Mark 1, which you claim is your best strategy. You made you made money. And you know what? Let me just so people watching this can easily see it without squinting at a small screen. I'm just going to just cut it out real quick and just blow it up for people to more easily see. Okay? All right. So let's see what happened here. I could see these are just bought sold actions over here. So you traded Fastly right over here. Maybe I should move my thing over here. Okay. We were watching Fastly this morning. Somebody brought it up and I agreed. So, all right. So right over here, make a winning trade. You're doing one contract across the board. You're starting real slow, small cash account, you know. Um, Bang, you made, 31 cents and you got paid 29.68, so you're paying about 75 cents a contract. Not great, not horrible, not good by any stretch, but for a Canadian, not the worst thing I've seen, considering you have Quest Trade and other platforms which tear you 17 new orifices to lose money in. So you made, 30 bucks here, 29.68. You took another trade, you made 4 cents, minus commissions here. You could see the commissions over there. You did another Fastly trade, you made 10 cents. You did another Fastly trade, you made 14 cents. And then we talked about it ad nauseum that you should stop before 10:30. Some people are at 11. For you, I remember, and I don't know how many videos saying 10:30. So at this point of the day, if you were to just chill out, you're over here. And I'm going to show you the calculator. You probably remember this because you took a large lapse in your next trade. So following what I told you, this is where you are. And following what, again, I can't tell you what to do, but following what I suggest for traders in that situation, you're up $52.85. It's not even 10 o'clock. You're the man now, dog. You could go right to a full-time job. I don't know what the COVID situation like is in Canada. I don't know if you have a job which is even available. I don't even know what the F is happening. The truth is, I'm a day trader, and if I didn't hear all the news flow about all this COVID shit happening around us, I would have no idea what's happening outside around me right now. I'd just be like, it's a normal day. What the hell's going on? Why are all these people wearing masks? That's how I'd be like if I was sort of delusional to society, but I am delusional to Canadian society, so just excuse me there. So at this point, right over here, you're up $52 and what was it, 85 cents? 52. 85. Right? You're up 52.85 right at this juncture. And then, you know, and what we talked about and what I saw with your results in the past is that's what you do best. Now, I could see right here on the time you're going to 2:25 p.m. And that's when shit hits the fan. And that's when shit hits the fan. And you literally got grinded like I did in Tesla after that 2:30, 3 o'clock range. That's it. Same thing happened to me. Same thing happened to me. So I know this is the painful part, but we got to do it so you see it with your own eyes. So you made 1383. You're probably feeling good at that point for coming back. You gave back $10.17. You keep hitting it. And again, I want to explain it to you. It's not because you're a lazy person. It's not because you're undisciplined. I actually think I know the reason here. And, you know, again, it's just my 2 cents. It's literally worth nothing more than that. Even less, you paid 0 cents for it. Minus 59.66 plus 924 plus 412. And I know the list goes on, so I'll just do it from here. I won't blow it up again, but just I need to show you minus 1217 plus $1.83 minus 1217 minus 887 minus 0.88 cents plus $1.13 plus $3.63 minus $100.14. So pretty much, just double check, minus $100.14. So pretty much from being green, $52.85, you gave back your day and pretty much equally as much. You were down $47.29 for the day. You're down $47.29 for the day when you're up 52.85. So here's, you know, and yes, I know what you guys are thinking. Mark, you told him, because you probably remember, how many times did you tell this gentleman, our Canadian brother over here, how many times did you tell him to stop trading after 11? And that's what most people would say, not me. I look at it quite the contrary. We both failed each other, brother. You failed you. I failed you. That's what I'm saying. Because whatever I said to you did not resonate with you to stop trading. And it's obviously something that you've noticed. And you notice it right here where I'm going to just read this part of your email again. I trade according to my rules, and then boom, I start trading like I need my fix or something. I start veering off, doing other setups that are your strategy, but on a name I wouldn't trade or strategy I'm best on, getting in late on your strategy, finding bearish, bullish setups. You don't have the mental capacity to sit in front of a computer and watch it all day. Most people don't. Most people don't. I don't. Nobody. How about this? You ready for this one? None of you. I'm an ex. I could play a video game like nobody's business. I'm the person that kicks all your friends' asses at most video games. I'm that person. I'm in front of a computer all day. Now, why am I saying this? Because even me, you're not going to trade as effective at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard, 1 o'clock p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., up to 4 p.m. You're not going to trade as effective during those hours as you would from 9:30 to 10. Your brain is fresh, you're focused. Looking at a computer screen, believe it or not, many of you didn't know, you're ready for this one, is dehydrating. Huh? But I'm not sweating. It's dehydrating. You are losing water by doing this job. As crazy as that sounds. And let me tell you right now that you are suffering from mental exhaustion. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. are holding losses, or excuse me, are not holding losses too long. I just was reading chat. Every single one of you do not trade or are making money or not during certain hours is a different story. You can make money at any time of the day, obviously. You're not as sharp for the latter part of the day as you are in the beginning of the day simply from fatigue. I'll prove it to you. Think about trading as playing a sport, playing basketball. Are you going to be quicker, faster, jump higher when you're playing for basketball for an hour, for the first hour, or for the second hour, or for the third hour? Even NBA athletes, they come in sometimes for 2, 3 minutes, give it 100%, and then they're on the bench again. Notice that? So don't feel bad, but here's a fact, and maybe this will help resonate with you. You are not the same trader in the latter part of the day as you are in the beginning of the day. And this is the problem. So now I'm thinking, well, in the first 28 minutes you're up 52 bucks, and I know if you were making $1,000 a month, which is what that number is, it's actually more than $1,000 a month, just so we're perfectly clear. But if you were making $1,000 a month, you'd be happy. I don't know what you could do. So here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts. Okay. Here's my thoughts. What can you do after 10 o'clock a.m.? What can you do? You're bored, bro. It's more exciting to be in the Newsbeat live room. I get it. That's where I am all day. I get that. What can you do? Can you get a secondary job? Can you binge watch Cuties on Netflix? No, don't watch that show. What can you do with your time? Seriously. Do you need a special message? Out of curiosity, I know it sounds stupid. How many in the Newsbeat live room right now thinks they would find it helpful to stop trading if they literally had a recording of my voice sounding with my tone saying, "Stop trading right now and log off"? Would that like help you guys if you literally had like a ringtone or an alarm like thing that went off during that time? You guys want that? No, stop is like, nope, that's not going to do it for me. I mean, for you know, look, I understand. I understand that I can't stop everybody. I understand that I can't stop everybody from doing it. I am just saying, what can I do to help you? And you tell me, because if that's what you want, I'll do it. Can you get a job? Something that literally, not for the money too, don't get me wrong, but just something that will pull you away from your computer. More importantly, what will pull you away from your computer? Because how else are you going to step away when you're literally telling me in your email that you want to step away? I don't know that answer, but I want to help you find it out. Because it's obvious to me that you know exactly what the F you're doing. It's obvious to me that Fastly is not the easiest name to trade in the world. Yeah, we did well on it early today, and yeah, I made some money in it, but that's not an easy name to trade, and you're sitting there trading it like an effing animal. You traded it 4 times, went 4 for 4. You know what the F you're doing, in my opinion, or at least from what I see. Do you disagree with that? Disagree. It's just an opinion. How do I pull you away from your computer? I almost feel like I've had a ringtone service that literally calls somebody on the phone at a certain time and just plays a recording of my voice telling them to log off, that it would be easier for them. I don't know. We need to figure out that answer together because we're literally going back to the same exact things we spoke about before. I have nothing but love for you, bro. All right. So before I get to this email, there was um there was the gentleman who was giving his he's a gentleman from Israel. He was stupid enough to trade on his cell phone. Yeah, I said stupid enough. As much as I love you, brother, you know, אני אוהב את Otach. Is that how you say it? Anyway, nothing but love for you. And he literally took out 30% of his remaining account balance and donated it to, what was it, Holocaust survivors in Israel. And I was talking to him and I was saying that I would, get him like PayPal him money. But he's saying this is his PayPal account number. And he just emailed me. If anybody in the Newsbeat live room wants to hit up a really good person, I'm gonna. I don't even know. Let me see if I can send somebody with this information PayPal because this doesn't look like valid PayPal information. Um, nope, it's not valid. Anyway, so I was just gonna send him some money. Um, Try to pick him up back on his feet again. He says, "Happy Hanukkah for everyone who you love and for everyone who loves you." And yeah, so he just wrote that in, and you know, okay, so. Don't really know the answer to that question, but I was gonna just throw him a chunk of money to get started again. 'Cause he's a good person and he deserves a second chance. Anyways, happy Hanukkah, brother. Apologies if this is a little all over the place. And I know some of you are probably watching right now. I just realized because I usually do this just to the room. I know some of you guys are on YouTube and Facebook now. You might be wondering, like, what the F is this Mark doing sending money to bleeding traders? You can't help people by sending them money. And again, I don't know what they'll do with it or not do with it, but you can't help money. You can't help people like that. There are people who, I believe really a lot of people go through very tough times in life who are good people who donate to others who try to help others around them, and a lot of times they need a hand to pick them up. I know throughout my life I was that person several times in life who needed an extra hand to pick me up so I could help others. I'm just paying it forward, so don't think anything else when I do something like that. All right, happy Hanukkah, brother. Apologies if this is a little all over the place. Today was a rough day. Yesterday was my largest gain. Today started off nicely green, turned red fast, and was ultimately my worst day, giving back most of yesterday. So you're still up, but you feel like shit because you gave the majority of your best day up yesterday. I'm too busy with over analyzing rather than just processing what's in front of me. So after 11 days up in the queues, I built a mostly short book. But it's funny. And it's not funny that you lost, but you know what's funny about this? I was literally talking about for the past week how so many traders they just look at the market over here going up and up and up and up, and the only thing they could think about is what they want to short next. And I'm not saying you won't find that opportunity, but in my experience, that used to be me. That used to be me, and probably some of you guys watching right now, this is you, and I get it. I totally get it. So after 11 days up in the queues, I built a mostly short book anticipating that we were due for a down day. Admittedly, yesterday's gains was partially lucky on timing. I need to figure out how to not care about rising COVID counts and deaths. All right. Um, I care about rising COVID counts and death. I think a lot of the policies implemented in this country are absolutely effing moronic and stupid and idiotic and imbecilic. And yes, I do think rising COVID counts and deaths are a real thing. It's a serious thing. I also think we should take it seriously. And I don't think people get things perfectly. But you know what? I treat it differently. I'll donate I'll donate money to buy turkeys for people during Thanksgiving who COVID hurt. And that's my way about caring about COVID. Now, I know exactly what you're saying. Your way about caring about COVID is saying, how can the market go up if people are sick? Now, my thoughts are, well, my brother, I feel you there and I feel what you're saying, believe me. And the answer to you on this one is we are printing trillions of dollars. That's why the effing market is going up. And you know why the market continues to be strong? Because we're about to print more hundreds or billions or maybe even trillions of dollars more. Guess what? These stocks are priced in US dollars. Where do you think that money goes? Do you think it goes under you know, a paper city the size of New York City of $100 bills in which, Zuckerberg and Bezos and Elon Musk, they all jump around and they like Scrooge McDuck into dollar bins and everything. That's so you're caring about COVID or not caring about COVID in a stupid way because you're applying it to the market and you're completely overriding the fact, in my humble opinion, that the US market is valued in dollars and cents, not dollars and cents, not this we've gone up too much, so why should we go up? I mean, you are overanalyzing. You're 100% right. Stimulus gridlock, Brexit talks falling apart once again. Who gives up about Brexit talks? I mean, I think I was bringing that up, what, 4 years ago when everybody was saying there's no way this is going through. And I'm like, it's going through. It's going through. Watch it go through. Look, I could see the counties voting. Look, they're literally reporting which counties voted what. Literally for Brexit. It's happening. It's happening. And it happened. You know how much money I made on that? Shit, because it wasn't anything important. Stop reading the news. Stop reading the news. I don't give an F whether it's online articles, whether it's Fox, CNN. Stop. It's hurting you. I'm not saying it hurts everyone. It's hurting you. It's hurting you. Stimulus gridlock. Do you realize how many stimulus gridlock statements I read a day as the head news flow guy here at T3? The only news service here at T3. Do you realize how much I go through with stimulus gridlock? And you know what I do? I try to look for an F to give, but I can't find any. I don't have any. The problem is you do. Brexit parts falling apart once again and worsening employment and economic data, not to mention insanely stretched valuations. I disagree with this. On what? Who made you ruler of the universe to tell me what a stock should or should not be valuated at? I'm not being an a-hole. I'm just literally like trying to change your mentality because you want to change your mentality. Okay? You want to change your mentality. You're the one saying I'm too busy overanalyzing. Okay? To list today's concerns, issues which the market used to care about. All right, I'll tell you what, in my opinion, you're underestimating. We're printing trillions of dollars. Here, you want to feel better about what nobody really cares about, but is right in front of our faces. You want to see what's right in front of our faces, which nobody really gives an F about? This. This is what nobody really gives an F about, and this is where your mind is going. You see this number here? See this number here? See this number here? It goes up always, no matter who's president, no matter who's in any position, no matter if it rains or snows. This number, as far as I can remember being alive, I'm not maybe before I was alive, always goes up. Okay? Always goes up. So when you actually look at the market and where it's valuated and where you have some underlying thoughts of where it should be valuated, I got an idea. How about we don't give a shit? Here's a debt clock time machine. Oh, look, we could go to 2024. You ready? Let's click that, see where it takes us. Here's 2024. The number went to 48 trillion. See that? We could go back to 2020. Watch. Look at where it says US national debt in the top left. Right over here. Watch this. 2020. Boom. So tell me, in 4 years from now, when we tack on and by the way, mathematically, we're pretty much at the we're at the point of no return already. And in my humble opinion, if we get to 28 million, which who knows, what's that going to happen in a month? If we get to like 28 trillion, we're just not going to be able to do it. I don't know what we'll do at that point. It's going to be absolutely hilarious to see what the US dollar is potentially worth at that point. But does this help you feel better about the current valuations? Each citizen in the United States of America has $82,912 in debt. Do you feel better now? And just trade on the charts in front of me, but this is what you should do, and I agree with this. We were not due for a down day just because I felt the market went up too much. Well, I mean, over the past 3 days, I was calling for a down day because we're hitting ascending resistance, and it didn't happen Monday, it didn't happen Tuesday, and it happened on Wednesday in a more magnificent fashion. Was I right or was I wrong 2 out of 3, right? How do you want to slice it, right? I've been around the stock market for over 20 years, but never traded consistently, especially after I fell in love with the short side. Ah, you're one of those people. Hmm. And so I took a break for a long time. I spent a while trying to reprogram the way I look at things, and I think with some success, but apparently still a long way to go. You have an inherent bearish bias, and there's a lot of people who do it very successfully. I make rules, sound rules, and don't follow them, and more times than not, I regret it. For example, this morning, my plan on the gap down was to lighten up almost everything and count my blessings. Once I saw the airlines bouncing hard off the lows, I knew I should cover right there, and then cover right there and then, but wished and hoped they would reverse lower, knowing the whole time the charts were against me. I actually bought Boeing puts just to show them. Oh, so you're here to make a point. I often have a hard time buying a stock after it's already moved up a bunch, even though I could list a million instances off the top of my head where it continues higher. All right, so maybe I'll help you. So, for example, today, um, you're mentioning Boeing puts, and me all morning. What am I saying all morning? I'm saying that I'm looking to buy Boeing calls all morning. So right here, 3:57 p.m. today, bought Boeing calls, 235 calls for next week, paid $6.42. I don't know if Boeing is going to work tomorrow or not, but look at where Boeing is. Guess what? I also called it successfully long right here when we gapped up and exploded the next day. Right now, Boeing, as I speak, is up a little less than a couple points for the evening, up a couple points at the moment, but still. And by the way, for those interested in what I believe is Wall Street's best and free overnight service, join the Newsbeat live room. Again, yeah, you do pay for the subscription. We give you free education. We give you a free Twitter service. We give you free help on the Ask Marks. We give you free overnight service. I mean, pound for pound, we give you more than anyone else. Nobody can deny that. But yeah, you're right. Like I looked at Boeing going all the way up, and yeah, I was one of the people. You know how many people thank me for buying Boeing under 100 here, and like, oh, I bought Boeing under 100 because after you mentioned it and blah 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 blah, and I'm still holding it, and they love me, and now I'm looking at it at $200, and I'm buying it right here at the close, right before the day ends. Not giving again. I can't find any F's around me to give. You know why? Because I only care about making money consistently. I can only care about being up money every single day. Do I have a down day? Yeah, I had one down day on Friday, even though I had my best week last week, including that down day. I had one down day. So my goal is just to make money. That's how I see myself as a trader. I don't care how much money it is. You see that? I don't care. And that's why I make the money. That's why I make the good money. Because I don't care how much. I'm not focused on how much I'm going to make. I'm not focused on that. I'm just focused on being intelligent every step of the way, and then the money just naturally comes. And if I could somehow implement that psychology in you, besides, if I'm looking for a day trade or even a swing, valuation should not factor in whatsoever. Exactly. How can we teach this old dog new tricks? Give you one of those. By the way, I have an idea on how companies can increase valuation. No, it's not stock splits. That's so Q2 of 2020. Poor sucker companies that went public prior to 2020 should repurchase their outstanding stock and come public again via SPACs or straight on the exchange. And they will get some form of a multiple of potential sales. Pardon the cynicism. I'm just having trouble adjusting. I can't legally tell you what to do. I can't legally tell you what to do. But what I would do in this situation if I were you and I don't know, are you losing money? You had your best day and then you gave most of it back, so you had a slight green out of 2 days after having your best day and your worst day combined. My thought is this. I don't know how much money is in your account, but if this was me, and again, I can't legally tell you this, I'm just talking on my own behalf, I would open up an account with five or $10,000 or 20, whatever your number is, thousand, whatever it is, doesn't matter, and just say, okay, I'm just going to trade what's in front of me on this small account here. I'll leave my stupidity right over there in my main account, and I'm just going to sit here and just trade what's in front of me every time. And I'm going to see with my own eyes if this is better. And it's what I'm trying to do is instead of being one of those bullshit gurus who just tell you you're undisciplined, tell you all the things that you should do make sense, cut your losers short and let your winners ride, and and the scammy dark pool princess flashing you some leg in her Facebook article, even though she's not cute, and trying to tell you what to do. Instead of that, what I would rather do is say, why don't you build the confidence yourself? You want to know what builds confidence in the members here? And yeah, we could go through some psychological things to get you there, without a doubt, but you want to know what builds confidence in the members? Having the members make money consistently themselves, not focusing on anyone else's bullshit. This this is why Newsbeat Live members are confident, not because I'm making so much money trading, not because I'm doing it, because I'm actually showing them how to do it. And I'm doing it in a way that resonates with the majority of people. Most education that these so-called, teachers and educators and whatever show you, these so-called people running these courses and all that, you want to know the funny thing? Their message can't resonate with 98, 99% of the people around them. Their message falls upon deaf ears because they don't know how to resonate with other human beings. They were just so many of them grew up in some ultra ultra beneficial position, and they know how to trade, and they just can't relate with somebody who doesn't know how to make money trading and actually show them what the heck is up. They don't resonate. So you know what's going to ultimately change you? Your P&L. And I know that sounds stupid and rhetorical and obvious, and I agree with that if you thought that. But me talking to you through this process right now is part of the psychology, in my opinion. And what I would personally do for myself, I can't talk on your behalf, is I would open up an account. I would put in X amount of dollars. Again, I don't know how much money you're dealing with, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,000. And I would just try to trade only intelligently in that account, doing exactly what you think that you should do. Of course, speaking on my own behalf right now. That's your answer. Don't have a lot of time. Wife is going to murder me. So I'm just going to go through one more and then I'm going to continue it tomorrow on the Newsbeat Fireside, where we come on at night with an alcoholic beverage. And just so we're clear, tomorrow's Newsbeat Fireside has been brought to you by, it says Boof Label, not Blue Label. It says Boof Label. Just keeping it real. All right. Last one, and then I'll continue on tomorrow. Hi, Mark. Thanks for doing this day in and day out, asking for educational purposes. Of course you are, because legally that's the only single thing I can do. How are Newsbeat Live members and you able to gauge that it might be a choppy day ahead pre-market? All right, so if you're wondering what question this is about, it goes back to how I analyze the pre-market here, and a lot of traders swear that this is by far the best thing they get. out of my day. Some traders like this and more. Some people just like the news flow. Some people just like our overnights, where we don't throw 20 names at you, cross our fingers, and pretend that you can manage them all perfectly in the morning like a super trader, like Superman can. Um, so right here, I'm saying good morning. I'm showing them my nine chart stock setup. And here's the line I think in which you're referring to here. I am not particularly in love with anything here this morning, looking for modest technical setups. And then, going back to your email here, you're like, how do you know? Well, it's kind of interesting you ask that. It's taken me a long time to get to the point because so many traders come in every day. All these gurus, like all these days are created equally. And they'll be like, oh, there's this, I'm watching this. I ran my scam, and my scams showed me that there's these names which have volume, and these are the names we should be focusing on. And look, I understand the benefits of volume. A lot of the names that I focus on are the ones with volume, admittedly, but some of the names with volume suck and some of them don't suck. I mean, just looking at the names I followed, of course they have volume. Tesla, Boeing, Zoom, Starbucks, Baidu, Neo, SLS this morning, Spiders and Qs. Yes, like those are names that have obvious volume. Um, it's hard. I basically look at the tone of the analyst in the morning. I look at the market. I look at the setups. I look at the volume in the names and I put them all together and make a very statistically accurate conclusion. And that is one of the things I do really well is pretty much know when the day is going to be choppy or not before it happens. And it's a skill that I acquired over 21 years. Is it based on Q and SPL pre-market volume? That's one of the things, yes. How many points it drops, etc.? That's one of the things, yes. Or are there any other factors involved? I just shared them with you. I know it's a very generic and open-ended question. Not really, but any insight would be appreciated. Analyst, market gap, mood, events that are ahead of us, day of the week, everything combined. I mean, the market takes everything into account. That's how I do it. I take everything into account, is the easy answer. Obviously, there's complex derivatives of, well, how do I derive this and derive this and derive this? And yes, there is an answer for that, but that's going to take me a couple hours, which is what I basically spend, by the way. It's kind of funny. People ask, what's the one thing you spend most on during the day? This tweet takes me about 2 hours to write. This tweet. Not because I have, one thumb on my hand and I go like this. Not because of that. But this takes me about an hour to write because I'm sitting there analyzing the entire market for hours to get to this silly little paragraph I could type up in 20 seconds. I personally love the technical ask marks more and want to request more of that. Okay. Then the psychological talks, though, appreciate both equally. I try to do what's needed at the time based on the family here. So I feel when psychology is important, I focus on that. And when I feel technicals are important, I focus on that. And through the S marks, you could go either direction. So I also let you choose. But I feel you, and I understand some need them more than others, and that's yeah. P.S. Thank you for doing this every day. Just seeing you show up every day to do this has helped me be more disciplined, non-trading wise, and slowly starting to build a good psychological routine. Keep on doing what you do. Thank you, I will. So overall, I just want to speak one more time about your rules and why people break their rules. And this is something I asked in the beginning. Traders break their rules not because they're undisciplined, not because they're stupid, not because they can't be traders. That is not why, and again, just my opinion, that is not why they do it. Traders break their rules because they are bored. They are bored. They're sitting around. They are watching things. They just want to throw a trade on the table. They don't know what else to do. And that, in my very humble opinion, is why traders throw on trades that they shouldn't do. Um, I'm going to try maybe something tomorrow. I'll show you guys in the Newsbeat live room. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I haven't figured it out yet. But I'm going to try to do something to attack people Um, attack sounds horrible, right? But to attack people who want to do things that they don't want to do in a positive way to prevent them from doing it. And remember, again, I really, when I do this show, I really hope and pray that gurus out there would take random, raw questions, raw emails from their members, not just sit there and focus on all the positive ones. And yes, when it comes to positive ones, I can generate more positive emails than anyone else here, anyone else on Wall Street as well. Yeah, I have the largest room with the most consistently profitable traders, and they love me, and they love me for where they are in life right now. And yes, I can generate all these positive emails. But what you'll notice is the reason why they are able to get there is because I focus, I don't want to say focus on the negative emails, but focus on positive emails that are coming from people who are struggling, people who are hurting, people who are inconsistent. And it's that sort of attention which separates the Newsbeat live room from other rooms in the industry. Links in the description if you're interested in anything we do. From the bottom of my heart, I hope you guys enjoyed this Ask Mark session. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.